20 rules I dislike from the 2024 Player's Handbook.
10 rules that I love from the 2024 Player's Handbook.
3 stupid idiot decisions they made for the 2024 Player's Handbook.
3 not stupid idiot decisions.
They printed this book and they ruined the game forever, and I hate it, and it's terrible now, and we'll never get it back, and I hate WotC, and I want to dive into the ocean. Have you been experiencing things like this on your YouTube feed? Today, we're here to not make it any better by adding more to the pile.
Yippee!
We're going to look at some rules in the 2024 Player's Handbook that are not well researched at all. The book just came out. We've heard a couple of things about it. I have read some of it. I've read like the first chapter, which is, it's really well done. Can we just get one thing out of the way really fast?
The art's really good.
The art is the greatest art in like any book we've ever gotten.
It's incredible art.
It's so good.
Jacob sat me down a few days ago and was like, look at all the character art.
I was like Clockwork Orange peeling your eyes open. I was like this. I was like, Colton, look! Look at the art, Colton! Look at it!
This book, right?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Oh no. That's what WotC did. That's D&D Beyond right now. So I would love to do a video where I read the entire book, but that would be too long and would not be fun. So instead, today we decided to just pick out a couple of rules, and I made a YouTube community post and asked you guys what you thought, and everybody voted on me reading the whole book. Remember when I uploaded a 2-hour video last week and everybody went, I'll watch that later. Look, we need something quick this week, all right?
We're trying to be faster here on SP level 3.
We're not trying to be positive. We're just trying to be quick. Just a disclaimer, Colt and I are stupid. So
and also have not read any of these.
So basically, it's your fault that you decided to get your information this way. But before we do that, big shout out from our video sponsor. Man, I sure am hungry. Are you? Well, thanks to Factor, I don't need to spend a bunch of money on takeout, wait for it to get here, or schedule out a time to do all my meal prep. And instead, I can eat now and feel good about it. This video is sponsored by Factor. Factor delivers delicious, ready-to-eat meals to your door, and they always taste amazing. You can pick from a variety of meals like blackened salmon or sun-dried tomato chicken, and there's tons of options for vegan and keto lifestyles or for high protein. I've got a Factor subscription of my own, and recently the garlic chicken has been hitting. 2 minutes in the microwave, and honestly, it comes out amazing. There's also lots of add-ons like smoothies, pressed juices, wellness shots, and breakfast. Nowadays, being healthy can be really expensive, time-consuming, and difficult to stick to. Factor is the catalyst that helps me accomplish my tasks while still getting the energy and nutrition that I need. Head to factor75.com and use the code FIREBALL50 to get 50% off your first box and then 20% off your next month of orders. That's code FIREBALL50 at factor75.com for 50% off your first box, then 20% off your next month of orders. Okay, we're doing this like we're eating bad homebrew. All right, so I picked out a few things. Some people in the YouTube community post picked out a few things, so I curated it a little bit. Some of these things I have read, and some of these things I have not read.
Okay.
This first like introduction area of the book was really fun to read. I loved how they've organized the book. Playing the game is first, and then you create a character. There's also a big rules glossary, which is really nice.
Okay.
Also, I have to shout out one part. At the very beginning, in the first chapter of the book, it explains a couple of things. And then the one part it says, if you want to learn how to play the game, you should go on the internet. There's lots of good videos.
That's cool.
Thanks.
Like Jacob's.
They hate me. They were not talking about me. All right, the first one is conditions. There's apparently some changes to a lot of the conditions. So we're just going to check those out. I figured instead of being like scholarly people, we could just guess what the difference is.
Okay, so wait, are we not going to reference the 2014?
We will if we really can't remember.
Okay.
So we've got blinded, charmed, deafened, exhaustion, frightened, grappled, incapacitated, invisible, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, restrained, stunned, and unconscious, which is, I'm pretty sure, the same. While you have the blinded condition, you experience the following effects. Can't see. This shouldn't be funny. This shouldn't be funny, but that's so funny. You can't see and automatically fail any ability check that requires sight.
That sounds right.
Attacks affected. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage.
That also sounds right.
That sounds correct.
Also, I realize what's happening. It's opening it up in the rules glossary when you click on it.
Well, that's actually kind of nice.
That's kind of clever.
Charmed. While you have the charmed condition, you experience the following effects. So this is another one of my favorite things they did with this book is they really reorganized information. You look at charmed, and you see can't harm the charmer, social advantage. You immediately know what it does.
It gives you some ideas, yeah.
Super nice. Exhaustion. This is my favorite. This is... Wait, did they change it again?
It's different.
Oh, no! While you have the exhausted condition, you experience the following effects. Exhaustion levels. The condition is cumulative. Each time you receive it, you gain 1 exhaustion level. You die if your exhaustion level is 6. Damn it, they changed it.
It's back down to 6.
I really liked the old, the Unearthed Arcana one.
Let's see what happened.
D20 tests affected. When you make a D20 test, which is the new word for when you roll a D20.
Roll a D20.
So anytime, ability check, saving throw, attack roll, the roll is reduced by 2 times your exhaustion level.
Okay.
Oh. Speed reduced. Your speed is reduced by a number of feet equal to 5 times your exhaustion level. Oh.
Ooh, that's rough.
Removing exhaustion levels. Finishing a long rest removes 1 of your exhaustion levels. When your exhaustion reaches 0, the condition ends.
So you can never have a speed of 0. Because if you're at exhaustion level 5, then it would be reduced by 20. Okay, well, if you're a small species. Is that still a thing?
No, I think they all have 30.
Do they all have 30 feet now?
Dwarf, 30.
30
for
gnome.
Gnomes have 30.
Okay, so
everybody has 30
everything
now.
has 30 now.
Goliaths have 35.
Whoa.
Halflings
Goliath's
have 30.
being cool.
I like this change
Okay.
a lot, actually. I like that everybody has 30 feet now. That's really nice.
And you can never have your speed drop to 0
You know
unless
what?
you die.
You know what? I actually like this. Because 1 level of exhaustion was never bad enough. So what I'm referring to and what we've been using in our games as a homebrew rule for the past year, level of exhaustion is -1 to your D20 rolls. If you get to 10, then you're dead. I do like that it reduces your speed. I also like that it's 2 times your exhaustion level. So if you have 3 -6, ooh,
I'm scared.
Anastasia is going to have a crazy time.
You're going to have to rewrite her perk tree.
Grappled. While you have the grappled condition, you experience the following effects. Your speed is 0 and can't increase. Attacks affected. You have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler.
That's new.
The grappler can drag or carry you when it moves, but every foot of movement costs 1 extra foot unless you are tiny or 2 more sizes smaller than it. Oh, I really like this.
I also really like
They
that.
made grapple so much better. That's so cool.
Yeah, I would like to play a grapple fighter again now.
Yeah, 1 grapple per hand. So that means you can double grapple.
I think so, yeah.
You can use another hand to grapple. God gave me 2 hands, and
creature
both
must
of them
have a
were to
hand.
grapple. While you have the incapacitated condition, you experience the following effects. Inactive. You can't take any action, bonus action, or reaction, but you can take move.
Move is an action.
Your concentration is broken. That's cool. Speechless. You can't speak. Surprised. If you're incapacitated when you roll initiative, you have disadvantage on the roll.
Oof.
That's... makes a lot of sense.
That's rough.
Okay, that's rough. I'm sorry. You're trying to make the build of being incapacitated going into combat?
I mean, I'm not trying to.
No, this is actually really cool because what you could do is you could hit somebody with a poison or something that makes them incapacitated, or do an ability that makes them incapacitated, and then you roll initiative and then they have disadvantage. That's cool. You do it to make them kind of go last.
Okay. I think in the default rules, the act of attacking would draw you into initiative. So they wouldn't be able to be incapacitated until after they rolled initiative. I think that's really just if they're sleeping.
That's dumb. Oh,
I think it's just I'm asleep.
I'm asleep. You have you roll initiative while you're asleep. You have disadvantage. Colton's like, oof.
I need my snooze, man.
You need your snooze surprise.
Yeah.
I really hope they updated this one.
Invisible.
Invisibly. While you have the they did. While you have the invisible condition, you experience the following effects. Surprise. If you're invisible when you roll initiative, you have advantage on the roll. Yes! That's so cool.
I like that.
Concealed. You aren't affected by any effect that requires its target to be seen unless the effect's creator can somehow see you. Any equipment you are wearing or carrying is also concealed. Cool. Love that. Attacks affected. Attack rolls against you have disadvantage, and your attack rolls have advantage. If a creature can somehow see you, you don't gain this benefit against that creature.
Like I say, when you attack something, doesn't it say you have to attack a creature you can see?
I suppose not. I mean, we could look up attack roll. An attack roll is a D20 test.
Thanks, attack roll.
Okay. D20. All right. That didn't help. Table of contents. Let's go to combat. Oh, playing on a grid is no longer an optional rule.
No, if you play.
When you take the attack action, you make an attack.
Choose a target. Pick a target within your attack's range. Doesn't
Just
say
says pick.
I guess it doesn't say that you have to see the target. But don't you have to know that they're in your range?
Yeah, if you don't know they're there, then you can't pick it. So I think the idea is that a creature can't attack you if it doesn't know you're there.
Okay.
But if you know the creature is there somehow, like you see their footprints or they hear a noise if you're invisible, they can pick you as the target to try to attack you.
But they have disadvantage. Okay, I'll take that.
But they reasonably can't pick you as a target if they don't know you're there.
If they have no idea that you exist.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
It's kind of a weird gray area. Anyways, paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. I seem to be struck by being incapacitated. Speed 0. Your speed is 0. Okay, hang on. Do you know what this means? This means your speed is not 0 when you're incapacitated. Am I wrong? Can you move while you're incapacitated?
Okay. Look at move. Let's look at move.
We're gonna read the whole book because we have to look at every rule. On your turn, you can move to a distance up to your speed and take one action. So by all technicality,
so when you're incapacitated,
you can still move.
You can still take your basic move action.
But incapacitated is almost always associated with something else. It says like you are unconscious and incapacitated, or you are restrained and incapacitated. It never once have it doesn't just say incapacitated. It normally means something else.
Okay.
So I have to assume that's why it's not specified there. Anyways, you automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. That makes sense. That's in the default.
It makes sense.
Attacks affected, attacks against you have advantage, and any attack roll that hits you is a critical hit if the attacker is in 5 feet of you. That's all the same. Petrified. I don't know how this one could be different. Okay. While you have the petrified condition, you experience the following effects. Turned into inanimate substance. You are transformed, along with any non-magical objects you are wearing and carrying, into a solid inanimate substance, usually stone. For me, it's flesh. And it's only a specific part of my body. My brain.
Your weight increases by a factor of 10, and you cease aging.
That is also me. That was me when I turned 18. Okay, what are we at? Stunned. All right, I've heard this one might be different. While you have the stunned condition, you experience the following effects. Incapacitated. You are incapacitated. Saving throws affected. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws, and attacks affected. Attack rolls against you have advantage.
Your speed doesn't become 0?
Oh my god. You can move while you're stunned? I like this.
It's all right.
Shut up.
I do like Stunning Strike, so I think I'm a little biased.
For sure. I liked in Unearthed Arcana when they had the dazed condition. That was fun. They got rid of that. Well, it looks like there has been not a whole lot of changes to conditions, except for the fact that when you get Stunning Strike, you could be like, and run away.
And exhaustion.
And exhaustion is very different now. I do like the -1 to 10 exhaustion more. Okay. This one I like second, and then 2014 exhaustion I like the least. That one was clunky and silly.
Yeah, the conditions were just like, suddenly your speed halves, and then you get half your hit points taken away.
Super weird. All right, anyways, we're going to look over some feats. We're not going to go through all of them. Like Crafter. What's Crafter? You gain the following benefits. Tool proficiency. You gain proficiency with 3 different artisan's tools of your choice with a fast crafting table. I like that there's a Crafter feat now. This is very cool. Whenever you buy a non-magical item, you receive 20% discount on it.
That's cool.
That's cool. When you finish a long rest, you can craft 1 piece of gear from the fast crafting table, provided you have the artisan's tools associated with that item and have proficiency with those tools. The item lasts until you finish another long rest, at which point the item falls apart. You just make like a MacGyver together thing. And you're like, you make a jug with duct tape, and it's terrible. This is very like my Fallout system. I have this percentage discount thing that I do in that, and you can also craft like everything in that system, which is pretty fun. But This is cool. With other workers too, you can make a crossbow bolt case. I don't know how that would ever be helpful.
For one day, you can have a crossbow.
Everybody going to be out here taking weaver's tools to make rope. That's huge. Or a net.
That is really huge.
Wood carvers, you can make a club, a great club, or a quarterstaff.
So you can make weapons if you needed to.
Why is Artificer not in the book, Watsy?
Because it's a feat now.
Because it's... So there's new types of feats. There's origin feats, which are level 1 feats.
Yes.
God, the art is so good.
That art
is
really good.
So good. There's also epic boons, which are super powered feats.
Right.
There's also fighting styles, which are feats. So any class that gets a fighting style can now pick from the different fighting styles and take them, which is really cool.
Makes sense.
So there's 2 I wanted to look at. Sharpshooter, I know they changed. So sharpshooter used to be, -5 to hit, plus 10 to damage. Now it's a general feat, prerequisite level 4. Dexterity 13 plus. I love the prerequisites. Another really cool thing about the 2024 book, all of the feats now give you an ability score increase. The general feats do. So you no longer have to be like, oh, where's the one that gives me a bonus to charisma? I want to take that one.
Because it's already a 19. I want to make it a 20 and get another bonus.
Exactly. Yeah. Now they're all going to give it to you, which is pretty cool. So ability score increase your dexterity score by 1, which is really nice. Yeah. Bypass cover. Your ranged weapons ignore half cover and 3/4 cover, which I believe sharpshooter already did.
Yes.
Firing and melee. Being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls with ranged weapons. I believe it did that as well. No, so
that's what it is. They added the
5-foot thing.
The 5-foot thing.
That's nice. Long shots. Attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls with ranged weapons.
Which it also already did.
It is much worse than what it used to be. But you are getting a bonus to your dex, and
on
you're
top
getting
of it
this.
Too, yeah, and you didn't used to get the dex bonus.
Not horrible. The other one I wanted to check out was Great Weapon Master, which they changed. So you increase your strength by 1, which you didn't get to do. Heavy Weapon Mastery. When you hit a creature with a weapon that has the heavy property as a part of the attack action on your turn, you can cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target. The extra damage equals your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I mean, instead of getting that -5 plus 10, you're now just getting a
flat bonus.
A flat, better bonus to your damage.
It's also as many times as you want a turn.
For the heavy weapon mastery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just forever you have that. Hue. Immediately after you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with one, you can make 1 attack with the same weapon as a bonus action, which is in the original Great Weapon Master.
Interesting that it doesn't specify that it has to be a heavy weapon.
That is true. So you could take it and do anything with that one, which is pretty nice. Let's check out Grappler.
Sure.
Strength or dexterity 13 plus. You gain the following benefits. Ability score increase. Increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to a maximum of 20. Punch and grab. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike as a part of the attack action on your turn, you can use both the damage and the grapple option. You can use this benefit only once per turn. So once per turn, you can punch, damage, and grab them.
Yeah.
You have advantage on attack rolls against a creature grappled by you. Cool. So you don't have disadvantage. That's basically what that means.
Yeah.
Fast wrestler. You don't have to spend extra movement to move a creature grappled by you if the creature is your size or smaller.
See, that's what I would have loved with Belkari.
That's cool.
Was Grappler the one that used to let you pin people? So they got rid of that, the being able to make them restrained.
Yeah.
So they did get rid of that.
It's okay. I think I like this newer one more.
What did they do to Tavern Brawler?
Tavern Brawler. You gain the following benefits. When you hit with your unarmed strike and deal damage, you can deal bludgeoning damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier instead of the normal damage of an unarmed strike. Damage rerolls. Whenever you roll a damage dice for your unarmed strike, you can reroll the die if it rolls a 1, and you must use the new roll. That's cool.
Wait a minute. Imagine that on a monk. Every time a monk rolls a 1 on an unarmed strike, they can re-roll it.
That's really good. Improvised weaponry. You are proficient with improvised weapons. And push. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike as a part of the attack action on your turn, you can deal damage to the target and also push it 5 feet away from you. You can use this benefit only once per turn.
This is a crazy feat for Monk.
Monk is already insanely good now. So, hell yeah. Love that.
Because it doesn't specify that it has to be the D4 unarmed strike. It's just when you unarmed strike.
Lucky. You gain the following benefits. Luck points. You have a number of luck points equal to your proficiency bonus and can spend the points on the benefits below. You regain your expended luck points when you finish a long rest. Advantage. When you roll a d20 for a d20 test, you can spend 1 luck point to give yourself advantage on the roll. Disadvantage. When a creature rolls a d20 for an attack roll against you, you can spend 1 luck point to impose disadvantage on that roll.
So you get more luck points overall, but you have to
they're not
make the
rerolls.
call. You have to make the call earlier.
Yeah, they're not rerolls. I like this more. I like this a lot more.
I mean, at higher levels, you can get 5 rerolls.
Well, 5 advantages.
5 advantages.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
It's pretty good.
In some of our games, that's as many rolls as we make before a long rest.
Really, though. So we're going to move on to a few spells. There's been a lot of spell changes. I don't know all of them, but I know some notable ones from a few spells.
I'm afraid of the first one that I see here.
Counterspell? You want to check?
They changed Counterspell?
They did change Counterspell. You ready for this? The original Counterspell, if a creature is casting a spell of 3rd level or lower,
it just works.
It just works, and then you have to roll and beat a DC in order to get a higher one. Also, when you Counterspell somebody, the spell slot is gone and their action is gone.
Yeah.
New Counterspell is you attempt to interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell. The creature makes a Constitution saving throw. So the creature who's getting countered makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the spell dissipates with no effect, and the action, bonus action, or reaction used to cast it is wasted. If that spell was cast with a spell slot, the slot isn't expended.
Okay, so they made Counterspell a lot worse.
Yep.
Like, significantly. Once you're at the point where you're fighting stuff that you're going to want to Counterspell, they're probably going to have ways to just say, no, I succeed.
I like that because there isn't a way in 2014 to deal with a counterspell except another counterspell, and I think that can get a little annoying.
That's
I know
fair.
it can be cool to do a big counterspell chain. You can still do that, obviously, right? But I think it's better now that you can counterspell and then they can just legendary resistance. As a DM, I like this a lot more.
To me, it almost makes it feel like it's not even worth taking.
I completely disagree. This is still a great spell.
Especially with it not expending spell slots.
Monsters no longer really use spell slots anymore. They now have per day.
I would consider that a spell slot.
I think overall, this is a good balance. I think Counterspell is a really cool spell, but I think it was a little too powerful, and I like the direction that they took it here. As somebody who has been Counterspelled, and my bad guy has just been forever Counterspelled and been like, all right, cool, this is fine. I like this a lot more.
I think that as a player, if you're fighting a big bad, they're typically going to probably use their bigger stuff at the beginning of the fight when they have those legendary resistances.
Yeah.
So if I'm fighting a Lich and turn 2 he power word kills, it's like, okay, well, I have this in my toolkit, but it just doesn't matter because I know that he can just legendary resist it, and like Counterspell is effectively useless here.
I think the one thing I don't like about this is now that if you upcast it, it doesn't do anything.
Did it do something in the old
Counterspell meant like if you 9th level casted it, there was nothing you could do. It was going to be countered.
You could upcast old Counterspell?
Yes.
Okay, you could.
That's how you get around somebody casting power word kill. You do a 9th level Counterspell,
right,
and it gets rid of it.
And the thing that you're losing as a player is that you're losing that 9th level spell slot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I notice about this Counterspell too, is that it is a 3rd level spell that is going to be really powerful at that range. I think this spell is really good now at lower levels, but it gets a little worse as time goes on. When you're at the point where you're fighting liches, Counterspell, the 3rd level spell, is not going to be like this big deal anymore.
I don't know. I think it's just strictly worse, like across the board.
It is worse in the sense that like 1st to 3rd level spells now still require a roll.
Yeah. I think it's just strictly worse.
No, you are right. It is strictly worse. I am saying, though, I like that it's worse.
That's fair.
Anyways, moving on from Counterspell to Healing Word. This is a little bit of a small change. Still a bonus action, still 60 feet. However, a creature of your choice that you can see within range regains hit points equal to 2d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. And then it increases by 2d4 for every slot above level 1. So you cast a 2nd level, it's 4d4 hit points.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's really good. The biggest reason why I love this is now it makes level 1 less deadly, and I love that.
All right.
Same thing with Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds is now 2d8, and the healing increased by it is 2d8 as well. I also love this.
I'm a little nervous about what type of damage creatures do in 2024.
Because they needed to up the healing?
Yeah, like that's a philosophy in Final Fantasy 14 also, where it's like, oh wow, they buffed the healers. Wait a minute, they buffed the healers.
Oh no.
What does that mean for us?
1d8 and 1d4 are not worth it. It's not worth the action. Mm-hmm. It's worth the bonus action, but it's not worth the spell slot, especially below 3rd level. Now, Cure Wounds is like, oh no, I can cast a 1st level slot and get you back up. That now it's not as big of a deal because you're getting so much healing.
I think that it acts the same like in later levels. I feel like Healing Word just outpaces it.
In my experience, Cure Wounds is almost always used out of combat. Nobody wants to waste their action on Cure Wounds.
It's like, oh, I'll pick you up or I'll give you some health after combat.
Everybody's always like at the last moment going to either cast Cure Wounds on themselves or drink a potion.
Yeah.
Last spell is Chromatic Orb. We know Chromatic Orb.
Yeah.
Is this a range of 90 feet?
Yeah. Jacob doesn't trust me. I know if
Colton, it's not trust.
I know if this was a few years ago, he would trust me because a few years ago I knew the rules so much better than I do now.
Well, now your brain is jam-packed with Warhammer and
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14. D&D Beyond is loading.
And it failed its investigation check.
Excuse me.
Cast guidance on us by refining your search.
D&D Beyond is loading. Everybody's playing D&D on a Sunday night, apparently, or their servers are really bad. You know what will work perfectly? Do you know what always works every time? The D&D wiki dot never fails. It's 90 feet.
See? I told you could trust me.
You hurl an orb of energy at a target within range. Choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder for the type of orb you create, and then make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 3d8 damage of the chosen type.
Yep.
If you roll the same number on 2 or more of the d8s, the orb leaps from a different target of your choice within 30 feet of the target. Make an attack roll against the new target, and make a new damage roll. The orb can't leap again unless you cast the spell with its level 2 spell slot. It's Chaos Bolt.
The damage increases by 1d8 for each spell slot above level 1. The orb can leap a maximum number of times equal to the level of the slot expended, and a creature can be targeted only once by each casting of this spell. So with a 6th level spell slot, I can force doubles on the dice, because I would be rolling 9d8. So they would have to double every single time I rolled it, and you would force it to bounce 6 times, because you would double every single time you rolled damage.
Oh my god, the giga brain move you just pulled right now. This is why Colton's actually a wizard. That's ridiculous. Holy god.
I think it's my favorite class. I just die a lot when I play them.
Yeah. So, stating the obvious, this is Chaos Bolt.
Is Chaos Bolt in the new?
Let's find out. If it's not, I'm gonna scream.
I was gonna say maybe they just combined
I almost
it.
said I'm gonna cream. Okay, moment of truth. Here it comes. Whoa, look at that art.
That art is really cool.
God. Oh my god, the art is so good, guys. Oh, look at the Big B's hand. Look at that.
Oh, and that is Bigby.
It's the Big B. A human sorcerer chastises ghouls with the unpredictable energy of a chromatic orb.
That's fun.
Okay.
Nope. They removed Chaos Bolt. They made it Chaos Orb.
Nobody tell Spencer. Nobody tell.
Hey, Spencer.
Hey, chromatic orb.
Uh-huh.
It now, if you roll the same number on 2 of the d8s, it bounces to a new target.
Okay. It's like Chaos Bolt.
Yeah.
The best spell in the game.
Yeah. Do you know what they did?
What?
They removed Chaos Bolt.
It's Chaos Orb now.
So we're never playing 6th edition.
Spencer.
Even calling it 6th edition.
Nobody is 2024's biggest hater than Spencer.
Yeah.
They on
if
you so
2024
hard.
has no haters, I'm dead.
Thanks guys for joining for this video. This was pretty stupid. If you want to see more of this, let me know.